we're waiting for you Monday, so I gotta make sure that I'm on. What's up, Simon? Simon, if you have any questions, Simon, I'll turn on the chat here on our Zoom link, and you can ask any questions. Also on TikTok, if you have any questions. So I gotta make sure that let me turn this down. Oh, how do I change this? Because you want it public. Okay. Okay, so we should be live on YouTube. Let me look on here. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so like I was saying, like automotive business, the auto body industry. I'm in the auto body industry. That's what we have an a collision repair shop. Our niche is minor repairs. We don't do any like rollovers. We don't do any heavy hits. We don't do any frame section or anything like that. The reason being is because we focus on a specific niche, and we stay within that line of business. And so the couple of things I wanted to share with you is if you're starting off your company, if you notice I said company, so don't get in the habit of using the word shop. You're starting a company, okay? And when you start a company, you have to look, okay, what is my logo going to look like? What is my brand going to stand for? How am I going to present myself in the marketplace? And how am I going to identify for exactly what I do, right? So a lot of company owners are first time, shop owners. They go in just wanting to do everything. They want to do whatever they can, get their hands on whatever job comes in, whatever they want to just do whatever they can. The problem with that is that your business your company doesn't have an identity. It doesn't have a one identity known for, right? So you want to decide, okay, am I going to want to do custom work? Am I going to want to do restoration work? Am I going to want to do major collision work? Am I going to want to just do overall paint jobs, like complete paint jobs? That's actually a niche company. If you look at Mako, Mako does this. I mean, they're known for complete paint jobs at an affordable price, right? That's their niche, and a lot of people talk crap about them, but they're targeted to a certain customer. You understand? They're targeted to a certain customer. So that's their business model. So there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They just got specific and says, hey, Mako does complete paint jobs, and our prices are affordable. And the way they've been able to do that is because that's their niche, that's their product, and they're able to leverage that on getting better prices because they do so many. You understand? And because they narrow down onto a niche, they're able to capitalize by getting better prices because they leverage the work they have. For example, if you open a brake shop, if you open an automotive, right, an automotive company, an automotive business, a shop, whatever you want to call it, okay, and you're just like kind of all over the place doing everything, you're not really going to be able to capitalize on one specific service, right? Versus saying we specialize in brake. We're the brake expert, brakes, right? Brakes. And so because you do so many breaks, now you can go to your vendor and says, hey, we buy so many brake pads and so much brake material from y'all. We want to renegotiate a better price. We want to negotiate a better discount. And so even if you get a 5% or even an 8% discount more than what you're already getting, you just took a 5% increase in you just took a 5% increase in revenue annually. You understand? By narrowing down on a specific service. And then once you narrow down that service, then you start to record the steps that takes to do that service. So now what you're doing is you're creating a training system. You understand? It's the same with any company. Okay, so let's talk about, like I said, what is the one thing you're gonna focus on? Okay, then it's gonna be like, okay, who are your who can you partner with to help you execute some of those jobs, right? So when I say partner with, that's gonna be maybe some fleet accounts. So always remember this. It's gonna be called the one to the many, all right? So what I mean by that is you could say, okay, well, let me go out and let me hand out flyers to just random people, and whoever can call me back will call me back, right? Okay, that's marketing to the masses, right? And you're doing the one transaction at a time. So you're doing one transaction one by one by one by one, right? But let's just say if we say, okay, well, who has access to the masses? Okay, so it's called the one to the many. And sometimes you have to kind of think, and you have to say, okay, who's the one person that has access to a lot of work that they can send me work? And so, for example, that'll be like a fleet manager or someone that's in charge of the repairs of the fleet vehicles. Who is that person? Maybe you have to look on LinkedIn. Maybe you have to go to different networking events to find out who that person is, so that you can connect with them and try to build that business relationship. There's an organization called BNI. They're pretty much in every city, and what BNI is, it's a group. It's a group of business owners, but each business owner is in a different industry. Okay, so you have like an insurance agent, you have a life insurance agent, you might have a mortgage guy, you might have a doctor, you might have a lawyer. They're have one person in each industry, right? They all get together and they network in the morning, typically in the morning, and basically you ask for referrals. You ask for referral of business. So you go in these networking events and you says, hey, I'm looking to see who can connect me with the fleet coordinator of the Coca-Cola distributing company here in my town. I'm trying to get access to repairing the vehicles, or maybe selling them tires, or maybe doing their wraps. I want to know who that person is so I can connect with them. And the BNI network connects everybody. So they'll do an introduction for you to get you into that meeting. So the group's called BNI. Look into it. Uh, if you're starting your company out, the organizations are going to be very good to connect you with people in your area, in your community, to figure out who's doing business, who can who can you do business with? Like like you have to get out there to do your business. I was on a call. I don't know if it was you, Simon, that mentioned. I asked how you were marketing, or I was talking to someone, and we started talking about a word of mouth business, right? Okay, yeah. So the word of mouth business only has a certain amount of income related to it. Word of mouth is good to get started, but it's not good to stay with. And what I always like to, this is the kind of the formula that I like to kind of give my guys, right, or give the guys that are opening companies, that are trying to grow their shop to a bigger scale, right? So once you get started, okay, it's gonna be word of mouth, okay? Everybody's gonna start saying, hey, I know you just opened a place. I want to take my car to get some work done. And so more likely they're gonna go with you because they know that you just started off and they know that you're probably gonna give them a better price because they know you, right? And pretty soon you need to start using some of that income to start to build a brand. Okay. You want to, the first thing I would always suggest is building a logo. You can build a logo for very cheap, maybe 25, 30 bucks, a logo, right? You want to start to get your name, maybe from the LLC, okay? And you want to make your business credible because they did a study, right? They did a study, and the study showed that I think it was like 85% of buyers now have already done their research on what they're gonna buy before they even buy it. For example, like, and I'll give you an example. If you're gonna buy a brand new TV, right? If you're gonna buy a brand new TV, a brand new bed, uh, anything, if a car, you probably spend a couple of nights online looking at different prices, looking at different reviews, looking at a bunch of different things. So when you go in, you're pretty sure of what you're gonna buy already if you haven't bought it on Amazon already. So 85% of buyers have already done their research before they make a decision. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that you have to make sure your online presence uh, gives them enough information and shares enough with them so they have the confidence to go do business with you. Okay, so one thing they're gonna look at your logo, they're gonna look at photos of your company. What do those photos look like? Don't use stock photos. People make the mistake of using stock photos. You use photos of yourself, of the way your company looks, inside and out, and just kind of be transparent. So they almost kind of already know what to expect when arriving to your location. One thing that I can share with you that really works, and a lot of companies don't do this, is they don't use YouTube as much as they should. And what I mean by that is, like, you can go on YouTube and you can make videos of your company and you can form a company YouTube. And whenever people search for services, uh, people like to go to videos first. And also too, the you can pay for Google ads, right? And the Google ads are going to be expensive because you're always gonna have to be looking for keywords, and you're always gonna have to competing against ad space. So you're gonna have to compete. You're gonna have to pay a lot of money to get ranked on Google AdWords, right? And if you don't want to pay that money, make YouTube videos. Make YouTube videos, but make the videos educational. Okay. So for example, if I was talking to I think his name was some guy, that's some ginger guy, about his vinyl company, right? So one video that you can make for YouTube about your vinyl company is how the different qualities of vinyl, because there's like a lower grade, there's a mid grade, there's a higher grade, right? So you want to share the different qualities of vinyl. That way you're educating your customer, and they're gonna feel more confident buying from you because you educate them on you gave them information, and you can kind of say, okay, the lower vinyl is this much, the mid vinyl is this much, the higher quality is this much, and this is the difference. Is how much they last. Some have UV protective, some don't, depending on what you're gonna put it on. And then an educational video also too might be like, hey, if a question people might ask, will the wrap mess up my vehicle? You know, and you can answer that question. You can answer that question to them on if it will mess up the vehicle, what lower the value of the vehicle. Those videos you can make and put them on YouTube for free, and that's going to be free marketing for your company. And so on the YouTube video, you can have on the description, you can have links to your Google Maps. And so what you're doing is you're actually directing them somewhere. So they go to your YouTube, they find your video, right? And then they go to the description and it has a Google Maps link. They click the link, and so now they're actually you're actually moving them forward to making a purchase, you know. And then on your Google link, you can have your website, and or you can have a messenger there. Google has Messenger now, so if they want to send you a direct message, they can send you a message if they have any questions. One thing that a lot of companies don't take advantage of is they don't take advantage of booking appointments. Okay, and so rather than someone just calling you randomly for a quote or something, uh, try to get them to fill out a form for an appointment. That way you start to capture some information about them. Okay. And one thing you can do too is you can actually make it a questionnaire so you know exactly kind of what they're needing, and follow up with them pretty quick. So for example, like one thing that we do is like if someone puts in an appointment to come in Wednesday for a 10 o'clock appointment to do an estimate, I'll call them the same day and figure out what the situation is or what can we do. A good question to ask is, what are you trying to do? So you might want to write this down. So a good question to ask is like, what are you trying to do? Because a lot of times you're on the phone trying to sell someone something they don't need. Whenever you ask the question, what are you trying to do? It gets right to what the problem they're trying to solve, and then you have to decide if you're qualified to solve that problem. And if you feel confident in solving that problem, then y'all can make an agreement on a price. Okay. And what it does, it eliminates a lot of conflict. I get a lot of calls, not too many calls, but like I would say maybe 3 or 4 or 5, maybe a month, on other business owners, shop owners, repair shop owners that are dealing with conflict. Okay. And and a lot of times the conflict uh goes back to them committing to something that they weren't really qualified to do or they didn't feel comfortable doing. And I'll give you an example, right? Okay. So let's just say I'll use the vinyl shop again for an example. Let's just say someone comes into the vinyl shop and they want to get their vehicle wrapped. Okay. They want to get the vehicle wrapped, but the vehicle has dents on it. It has some dents and it needs some maybe some body work, right? Okay. The vinyl shop is not a body shop, but he's like, you know what? Maybe we can do it and maybe we can make some more money doing it, right? Okay. And so they do it and they get into it. And then before you know it, it becomes more work than they thought because they're not really qualified to do the body work. And maybe the customer was like, "Hey, I thought y'all were gonna paint it. I thought y'all were gonna do like a professional job, but this looks like a hack job, you know." And so now there's conflict because the customer was assuming one thing, and the business owner was assuming another thing, right? So there was conflict because they believe two different things. So whenever you ask the question, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" The customer can tell you exactly what they're needing. So, for example, if the vinyl shop would have said, "Hey, customer, what exactly are you trying to do?" Okay, he would have said, "Well, I'm trying to get the bodywork fixed first, and I want it done right, because I want it to look like I want it to look back the way it was, and then I want to wrap it." Okay, the vinyl shop would have said, "You know what? We can wrap it, but we can't. We're not gonna. We can't do the repair work for you." Okay. The vinyl shop could have then said, "Hey, I can get some prices for you, and we can sub it out. That way we can make it all into one price, or you can take it somewhere and get it done, and then bring it back." Okay. Um, that way you're clear on the front end on what exactly is going to happen. A lot of people just jump into it, and before you know it, um, they're dealing with conflict because they didn't ask the customer, what are you trying to do? One thing that happens a lot in the collision business is a lot of customers they want discounts. They want discounts on the deductible. Okay. And one thing that you can ask is saying, hey, what are you trying to do? If the customer says, hey, well, I'm trying to get my car fixed, but I'm trying to save the deductible. Okay. We don't save deductibles, and I'll tell you why. Because whenever you start to save deductibles, then you start to cut that money from something else. That money has to come from something from the repair. So you're maybe leaving something out, or you're not replacing something that needs to be replaced, or you're doing something that shouldn't be done. And you're not going by the estimate. Now you're falling off track. So now what happens is now you're gonna have conflict because he's expecting this, but you're wanting to do everything the right way. So there's gonna be conflict, okay? So always ask, what are you trying to do? That'll help eliminate a lot of conflict. One thing that I always tell my guys too is like, hey, always ask yourself, how much money, time, and emotional energy is this customer going to cost? Because you have to weigh those three things out. I always, I don't always, but I get calls from time to time saying, hey, man, like, I'm in a situation here. I really try to help this guy out, but man, he's just keep asking for more and more and more and more. And man, I'm not making any money off of this job. And I was like, well, did you ask him what he was trying to do from the beginning? No, well, we kind of just agreed on something and we just kind of ran with it. Another thing too is to make sure that you're doing your estimates properly. We talked about this with Simon. Like, even if you're doing it on an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheets, do something and break it down. Take some time to break it down. Even if even if it takes you a day or two, call and get some prices on material. Just call and get some prices on material and write your bid out. And I guarantee you what's going to happen is if you take the time to write those bids out, you're gonna actually see that you're leaving out a lot of stuff, and you're actually losing money. Okay, and whenever you start to write those estimates out for customers or the insurance company, you're gonna see that you're gonna start to be able to make a profit on these jobs, and with that profit, you can start to invest in some kind of estimating system to get everything going. Or you can just you can go to Fiverr. Look, you can go to Fiverr and you can find someone to make you an Excel spreadsheet with formulas on it. Okay. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a template. It'll be a template where you put how much your labor time is, how much your body time is, how much your pay material per hour is, and it'll have a formula there. So whenever you put 5 hours, it'll automatically give you an amount. So you can create a template. Go to Fiverr and look for someone that makes Excel spreadsheets, and they can make you a template formula. If you don't want to do that, message me and I have one that I can send you. That's a certified one that we use for certain projects, and I can send it to you. It's very simple. We also have one to calculate your profit margins after you break down all that stuff. So if you don't want to go through that, I can help you out with that as well. We have these webinars and these Zooms because I do have an offer. And I invite people to our Body Shop Alliance group. The Body Shop Alliance group is a one-on-one call that I have with company owners, new and existing, and we basically go over pain points in the company. We go over growth strategies. We go over, okay, is the company structured correctly? How do you build those vendor relationships? How do you get the vendor accounts? How are you gonna, how do you pay your guys? How do you put them on commission? How do you manage the job? What estimating system should I use? What management system should I use? One thing that we go deep in is we go deep on the supplements. So we go deep on writing the supplements, making sure they're correct, because if you're not writing an accurate estimate, a supplement, you're missing out, man. You're missing out because there's a lot that goes into those jobs, and if you're not putting it, you're gonna miss out on that money. Okay, Simon put, I am currently a one-man shop and have the business as a solopreneur. Uh, do you think I should keep it like that till I grow, or should I switch it to LLC? Let me answer this question for Simon. So Simon, uh, one thing that I can say is like, uh, operate your business as if you're already there. Okay. So operate your business as if you're already there. And what I mean by that is like, form the LLC, okay? Get your logo, get your landing page, get your Facebook page, get your Google Maps page, get your Yelp page, get any free platforms that you can put your business on. Get those set up. Get those set up, okay? Get those set up as if your business is already there. Okay. Don't try to do it backwards. Don't try to wait. Like, get the LLC set up. Okay. Get your business account set up at the bank. Okay. Get that set up, and that way you already got it in place. Like, you already got it in place. You're not gonna have to stop what you're doing and go back and do all that stuff. Whenever you're set up, it's going to be easier to build those relationships, because you don't want to build relationships with vendors or other companies or anything like that, and then have to go back and reset up everything. Set it up now, okay? Also, one of the benefits of forming your LLC is you can be employed through your LLC. You can be employed through your LLC. So now you can pay yourself a small salary. And so now you're a W-2 employee for your own company. That's how you want to be set up. Okay? That's how you want to be set up, because that's going to open you up to getting some business relationships, to forming the business relationships, and starting to get those collateral loans, and then you'll have a line of credit pretty soon, pretty quick. Let me see. Yo. We see, do you why? Said 10K likes. Let's get 10K likes. That's legit. Just get it. Just blow this thing up. Yeah, Simon. So I hope I answered your question, Simon. Man, I want to see you succeed, man. I want to see you succeed, and you know, because you deserve it. Like, you deserve it, man. If you're a solopreneur and you're out there taking that risk, I can tell you one thing about a solopreneur. Okay, most solopreneurs are quick starts. Okay, so if you're familiar with the DISC assessment, solopreneurs they're usually quick starts. Okay, they like to see things move quick. Okay, one thing that I would suggest is finding someone to analyze and to probe your ideas. Okay, because not every idea is going to be a good idea. And if you have someone that you trust that can probe your ideas, it's going to make you a lot wiser, and it's going to make you more strategic on that decision. And basically, like, I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. I had this guy, and I'll share the whole story. All right. I met this guy a couple years back, and we started talking, and I asked him, I said, hey, tell me about yourself, right? And he's like, well, I was in the restaurant business. I love cooking. My goal one day was to maybe open a restaurant, right? Thank you, Simon. Oh, thank you, Quincy. Is it Quincy Y? Quincy Y? Yeah, let's get it. Appreciate it, brother, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. We're trying to grow this thing, man. We're trying to help out entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs, man, just hustlers, people that want to get out of the streets, and want to make, make something happen with their life, That's what we're here for. Back to my story, okay? So met this guy. I said, "Hey, tell me what you want to do. What's your dream, right? What's going on?" He's like, "Man, you know what? I really would like to open a restaurant one day. I really enjoy cooking. I can cook anything, this and that, right?" And I said, "Why don't you try to buy a business, a company, a restaurant, or maybe a food truck, get started, right?" Nah, I don't know. I don't know if I have time for that, my work. Uh, and I said, "Well, what's your financial situation?" He's like, "Oh man, my house is paid off. I have another house right there by the lake that I inherited uh, from my parents that where I'm fixing up, and so it's like a vacation home that me and my family have." And I said, "What, on the lake? It's on the lake?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's on the lake." And so I said, "Let's look it up on Google Maps." So so we ended up looking it up on Google Maps, right? And and I was like, "Man, that's a nice little spot there." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice." And I said, "Have you thought about renting it out?" And he's like, "No, what do you mean renting it out?" And I said, "Yeah, get on that." I said, "Yeah, there's websites that you can put your cabin on there and you can rent it out to people, to families." And he's like, "Really? I didn't know that." And I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, we just got back from a cabin that we rented off of the river, and we paid quite a bit. I think it was like $1,500 for the weekend. It was like a 6 room thing or something. It was a pretty good price." Um, and so he's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "You can make some money, dude." I said, "You have a cool little spot there." And I was like, "You just got to keep it real simple. Like you don't have to do anything crazy, right?" And so anyway, a couple months passed, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got my house listed on that website to get rented." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And I think it's like when the first Airbnb started coming out, right? And I want to say it might have been Airbnb, or it might have been like a private one that did like hill country cabins or something, right? Anyway, he got it listed, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "people are actually renting it." He's like, "They're renting my little cabin." And I was like, "Dude, that's sick." He's like, "Man, now I'm making some money, dude." And I was like, "Dude, that's sick, dude." I was like, "Man, that's good." And so every time I would see him, he would kind of like ask me little questions and stuff like that, right? And and I noticed like he he wouldn't he wouldn't give props. Like he wouldn't give props, right? And I noticed that um like he didn't like say, "Man, I appreciate you giving me some guidance," because I wouldn't have figured this out, right? And so long story short, I've known him for a couple of years now, right? And what we're talking about is we're talking about quick start. We're talking about people that they get excited when there's an idea or an opportunity, and they want to just jump on the idea or the opportunity, but they don't look at the risk factors, right? So anyway, I ran into him a while back, and he's like, "Hey man, I got a big business opportunity. I need your advice on it. I need your help, man. I need your advice on this, right?" And I was like, "All right, like what's going on?" He's like, "These people want to sell me this laundromat." Okay, he's like, "Man, it's a laundromat. It's gonna make money." He's like, I got my 3 houses now. They're both all free and clear. I'm thinking about selling the two, using that money and buying the laundromat. And it's gonna make money. I already know it because laundromats make money. And I said, "Well, okay, well, let's kind of like break it down a little bit." And he's like, "No, well, I already kind of like figured it out. It should work out, right? He's like, it should work out. And I said, well, do you mind if I ask you some questions? He's like, yeah, go ahead, you know. And so the point I was trying to get across to him was that you know, sometimes you need someone to probe at your ideas, because sometimes we get too excited and we jump into the wrong thing, right? And so what I told him, I said, hey, I said, okay, how many years do you have, or how much knowledge do you have on running a laundromat? And he's like, man, I've never ran one before. I was like, okay, that's kind of one thing that you got to think about. And I said, how old are the machines? He's like, well, I'm not too sure. And I was like, well, what if he's trying to sell it to you because the machines are already on their last life, the last year? You have to replace all of them. He's like, man, I didn't think about that. And I was like, well, what about like the electrical system? How is the electrical system in the building that's at? How is that wired? Is it up to date? Is it need to be redone? Is it like rigged up or what? Right? And he's like, man, I'm not too sure. I was like, what about the water bill? What does that usually cost a month? Because that's a lot of water. Man, I haven't thought about that either. And I said, okay, well, is he selling the building with you? He's like, no, it's not the building, just the equipment. I said, okay, that's another thing, because if you buy this, you're gonna have to get a new lease. And what if they raise the rent on the lease? Now you're stuck, because you're screwed, because now you got to figure out what you're gonna do. I was like, man, I think it's too risky, because you don't. There's a lot of things that you don't have control over. Like you don't have control over the light bill. You don't have control over the water bill. You don't have control over the rent. There's a lot of things there that might kind of cost you. You know, I said you don't know the condition of the machine. So what if you have to replace some of those the first year you buy it? You know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, like I spent an hour, like, you know, just kind of going over like the pros and cons and this and that. And I said, and why would you want to sell your properties when they're already cash flowing with you? Right? I said, what you can do is you can get a HELOC. You can put those properties in a line of credit. Like you'll have a line of credit, almost like a credit card, and you won't have to start paying it until you actually use some of it. I said, but this is even better. I said, what if we present to the laundromat a seller finance deal? And he's like, well, what is that? I said, well, that's where he's the bank, and you're buying it from him. So you're not having to use any of your money. You're not having to use any of your credit, and you still have your properties. You still have a line of credit, and you're getting a laundromat that's cash flowing. You said cash flowing, it's cash flowing itself, right? So I just kind of threw these ideas at him, right? I kind of threw these ideas at him. So that's why it's always good, you know, to work with someone to probe your ideas, someone that you trust that looks at it through a different angle. Because a lot of times you jump into these things and and they're bad decisions. The topic is when you're a solopreneur, when you're an entrepreneur, and you're presented with a lot of opportunities, and you start to try to jump on every opportunity, but then it starts to backfire on you because not every opportunity that you jumped on was a good opportunity, right? So we talk about, you know, what are the risk factors of that opportunity? Okay. One thing that I always tell people that I invest with or other investors, I tell them, I said, hey, tomorrow there's going to be another opportunity. So just because there's an opportunity today doesn't mean tomorrow there's not going to be another one. Tomorrow it might even be a better opportunity. You understand? So you always want to look at your risk factors, and what the risk factors are is you're saying, okay, what are all my risks with this you might have the opportunity there, but what are the risks that might come with that? What are the unexpected things that might arise from that? And you're not being pessimistic. You're not being negative about it. You're looking at it through a different lens. And a lot of times, whenever you're the entrepreneur, whenever you're hyped up and you're ready to just get it, you're kind of blinded by those things. Okay, you're blinded by those things. I'll give you an example. I bought it was a 4 unit it was a 4-unit duplex that I bought, and I bought it off the MLS. So I paid pretty much like almost like list price for it, right? And so I was excited about it. I had the capital to do it. I had the backing. I had like everything. Like I could make the move. Right? I could make the moves quick, right? And I wasn't listening to anybody. Like I wasn't listening to anybody because I was stuck on this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it and whatever, right? I know what I'm doing. And what it turned out was it was a nice property, but it was in a bad location for rent to make money off the rent. And so because no one took the time and says, hey, you know, these are the pros and these are the cons. These are the risk about this. The risk are this was some of the risk on that. The risk are that I was thinking that I can rent the units out for maybe 1,200 a piece, right? Okay, that's what I was thinking. But no one ever said, hey, what about the area? Is that a good neighborhood? Like, who wants to live in that area? Like, what kind of person would want to live in that area? I didn't think about that. I said, okay, what are the rents go in that area? Like, what do they usually go for? What would someone pay in that area? Okay, that's comfortable living in that area because it was kind of like a hood area. And so I didn't think about these things, right? Because I was like, you know what, I can rent it for 1,200, get a good person in there, uh, but like I said, we didn't. No one was there to kind of probe uh at the risk factor stuff. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it's always good to have someone that you trust to say, hey, um, this is what I'm seeing. Have you thought about this? So a lot of times, you know, like I said, entrepreneurs are called quick starts. If you do the disc assessment or any assessment test, or even the strength finders, those will give you a lot of information. And if you don't know what the disc is or the strength finders, when Google or on if you go to Amazon, Google, I mean look up strength finders. It's called a Gallup Strength Finders, right? And what it is, it's a book, and in the back of the book, it has a code in it. And when you get the code and you go to the website and you take an assessment test, and it's going to tell you your strengths. Okay. Whenever you start to identify your strengths, you start to understand what you're good at and why you act a certain way, why you react a certain way, why do you have certain triggers. You understand? So the strength finder is going to be a good thing. I hope that was able to help. Simon, do you have any more questions, Simon? So Simon, look up. You can probably go to maybe LegalZoom. I know you're in Canada, I think, right? You can go to LegalZoom and you might be able to get that set up. There's some other websites. If you message me, I'll send you the other ones too. I forgot the name of it. But basically, that's just to get you going. Okay. That's to get you going. And you know what? You can also, okay, guys, look, if you're running if you're running a business out of your home, okay, and you want to form the LLC, you can actually go to 1-800, like you can get a 1-800 number. Okay. The 1-800 numbers are cheap. You can get a 1-800 number, or you can see if you find an office address. And what I mean by that is like sometimes they'll have like mail, like there's like little companies, they have a bunch of mailboxes there. They're like milk, it's a mail company. Like they service a lot of mailboxes for people, like a PO box, right? You can have your address there. So whenever you register your LLC and they Google your address, it's not going to be at your house. It'll actually be at a location, at a brick building. You understand? A lot of real estate agents do that. A lot of wholesalers do that. So you get the 1-800 number, and then you can actually have your address at a location, a mailbox location, a PO box. You don't want to get a PO box. You want to get a physical address. So, for example, it'll be a physical address, but like it might say like Suite 59, okay, and that's gonna be your mailbox number. But your mail will go there And whenever other businesses go to verify you, you're not running a business out of your house, so it looks more professional. Trap, we don't have classes. We have a body shop alliance, and basically it's shop owners, man, shop owners, business owners, or technicians, people looking to transition into business. You know what I mean? I don't know what do you do, Trap? What do you do, Trap? It doesn't. I mean, what are you a business owner? Or you're just getting started? You're just kind of trying to get in the game. You're a hustler. Like what? Tell me what you do. Okay, I go to Lincoln Tech for auto. Okay, nice. Okay, so you're gonna be transitioning pretty soon to a business, right? A dealership, maybe. You're gonna transition into a dealership. So this is a good. Let me see. Yeah. I'm gonna give you some game here, Trap. I'm gonna give you some game here, Trap. And this is gonna. If you can write this down, write this down. I'm gonna give you and so I do this a lot with people. We map out a game plan. Like we map out some stuff and I'll give you some serious game here. Okay, let me know if you have something to write with and or if you want me to just go. Okay, I'm just gonna go, Trap. Okay, look, check it out. You're gonna graduate from Lincoln Tech in June, right? Okay. I'll let me see. On my thing, I think on my link trees there, you can hit me up on Instagram. But I'm gonna give you some game, Trap. Look, you're gonna graduate in June, right? Okay. So you're gonna be fresh out of school. You wanna the shop that you want to go to, the business you want to go to, you want to make sure that you interview them. Okay. You want to make sure that you're interviewing them. And this is some of the questions that you want to ask them. You gotta say, okay, do y'all offer continuous education? Do y'all offer continuous training? Okay. Uh if I'm with the company for 10 years, where do you see me within the company? Where is my room to grow? Okay. Uh if it's an independent shop, you want to ask the owner, hey, where do you see the company in 10 years? You want to make sure that you get on a vehicle that's going somewhere, because if you're on a vehicle that's already like stuck, you're gonna waste time. Okay. Find a dealership that has continuous training, iCar, get all those certificates, get them, and start to just work your ass off so you can get on the line and you can make as much money on the line. Okay. And you want to focus on being the best technician. You want to focus on being the best technician. And look, now that you got your money right, okay? Now that you got your money flowing, you want to make sure that you get into a good credit union bank, okay? You want to make sure that you get on a good. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you get on a good credit union bank. Mutual speaker. You want to make sure that you get on a good credit union bank, and you want to start to build that banking relationship. Okay. Whenever you build that banking relationship, that's gonna set you up for future growth. It's gonna set you up for future growth because look, you have the income, okay? You're gonna make sure you stack up your credit. Okay, the way you're gonna stack up your credit is you're gonna make sure that you're getting new cards every so many months. New credit cards, you want to build up your line of credit. Okay, not to go spend it crazily or anything like that. You want to build it so that now you have so much available credit. You want at least 150,000 available credit. So now you have a solid job, right? You have a W-2, you have a solid credit. So now you can buy your first rental property, investment property. If you get you can get an FHA loan, 3% down. Uh, Dude, you'll be set. Like you'll be set. You understand? You'll be set with that conventional, that FHA, 3% down. And that's just gonna get you, that's gonna get the momentum going for you to buy other properties. Because as a technician, look at this. I was talking to someone the other day, and I got like 5-10 minutes to go here. I was talking to someone the other day, uh, and I said, man, a technician, a technician can actually make more than a lawyer. Because like a technician doesn't have to buy the suits, doesn't have to buy the fancy car, doesn't have to live in the fancy house, doesn't have to have the fancy office to attract customers. A technician can show up every day with a work uniform in a beat up truck, beat up car, and make just as much as an attorney. You understand? So there's a lot of opportunity there. Okay, look, Trap. If you want to start that cargo van company, you'll have the income from your job. You'll have the credit. So now what you'll do is you'll set up a business. So it'll be like Traps Cargo Vans LLC. That's gonna be the business. And so now you can buy those vans through your company and not have to use your credit at all. You understand? You can buy those vans through credit and not have to use your name at all. In fact, you know what? Ford offers a business line of credit for businesses that they'll fund commercial vehicles. So I hope I gave you some game there, Trap. But there's no reason why you can't be a millionaire within 3 years. Making the right moves, 5 years at the most. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get into a dying company. You don't want to go to a dying company. There's a lot of drama. There's no organization. There's no structure. You don't want to be around that environment. You need to get into a company that has structure, that has continuous education, and you know what, that they're gonna be somewhere in 10 years. Get in contact with me, man. Let's do this. Let's get some money. All right, guys, I gotta go. I kind of went over my time. But hey, on my link above is my IG, the link tree, all that stuff. If you want to get it on the Zoom calls, it's Monday at 7. We have a webinar Q&A. We got Simon on from Canada, I believe. We'll have to answer his question. If you want to know more about the Alliance Group, the cheapest I can do it is $97 a month. We'll get on a one-on-one call. We'll do a strategy call, and then it'll be like every other week. We'll kind of go over what you're going through. We have some other products that if you want to go deeper, like I know Travis is wanting to do a cargo business. He's in transition to becoming a tech. Man, that you recommend opening so Rick, I mean, I would, just so that everything's set up correctly from the beginning, because you don't want to go set up all these accounts and get everything set up and then have to go back and redo it. And plus two, for tax purposes, you're gonna be better off with the LLC versus, because look, whenever you have everything in your personal name, oh shit, hold on. Oh shit, hold on. Whenever you have everything in your personal name, then you have to report that on your on your income tax at the end of the year. So your income constantly keeps changing. But with the LLC, your income is different from the LLC business. Hey, get with me, Trap, on Instagram, and we'll work something out, man. We'll get on a call. We'll get on a real call first, and we'll see if we can do something. Usually, when I work with someone, man, I like to see if it's a perfect fit. If you feel comfortable with where we're going, with the suggestions I give you, and you're coachable, and you take action, like we'll do something all day. I'll give you unlimited resources, man. You'll be like blown away. In the first call, you'll be blown away with the game I can give you, man. You know, I gotta go, man. So y'all reach out later, Rick. Get that LLC, Rick. Let me see. I'm running a collision facility for years, and I think it's going. Thinking of going. All right, Rick. So just real quick, Rick. I only have a couple of minutes. If you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I'm there. My link tree's above. But let me suggest something. Uh, what exactly do you do at the like? What do you? How do you run it? What do you actually do? Are you a foreman? Are you an estimator? Are you a shop manager or what? Okay, collision director. Okay, so do you want to open your own place because of what? Like, what do you want that place to give you? Because it's not gonna give you more time, and at the beginning, it's not gonna give you that much income. It's gonna be a hustle. You understand? Trying to make it. Well, okay, Rick. So look, you're it's a partnership. It's a partnership. You're making you like yes, you're working for someone, but you have to understand they also have overhead and they also have expenses they have to upkeep. They have, they have rent, mortgage, taxes, property taxes, sales tax. They have maybe credit accounts. They have the utilities. They have internet, Wi-Fi. The scanning services, estimating systems. So they're invested as well, right? Uh, One strategy you can do is because now you see now you have uh you have income. So you have income on paper from that company, right? So now you have stable income. One thing that I would probably suggest is saying, hey, you know what? Have you looked at any investment properties, rentals, right? Because look, the okay, so look at it this way. So you can say, okay, what if I was to find a rental property, right? Okay. So because you have income, you'll be able to qualify to buy a rental property, okay? And that's going to fall under a conventional loan. They're going to ask for maybe 15% down of whatever they're asking, right? The key is to know how to buy them right, okay? We have this thing, and I'll share with you real quick. It's some serious game here. It's called the real estate matrix. And what we do is I can show you all this stuff, Rick. I mean, I'll give you some game on this, but what we do is like we'll pull a list of properties that are maybe vacant, abandoned, tax liens, uh, whatever, right? We'll pull a big data list of all these properties, and then we start to locate and see how we can buy these properties at discounted prices. So the point I'm trying to make here, Rick, is like, you know, having a company is going to be a lot of work. If you're looking to get some passive income and you're looking to maybe acquire like new toys, then I would say real estate investing is the way to go, man. I have a bunch of properties. We have an RV park. And it all started because I took the money from collision and I invested into these passive income deals. You know what I mean? And think about it long term. Think about the long term game. Those properties are just going to go up in value. So you can use the shop that you're working with right now as the vehicle to help you acquire those properties. You know what I'm saying? And then in 10 years, hey, they made their money, but now you're able to make this passive income. You know, and you can set targets. For example, you can say, okay, uh, the first year I want to make, you know, passive income $1,000 a month. So if you're trying to make $1,000 a month, then we got to run some numbers and see what kind of property we would need to find to make you that much cash flow. And dude, the properties are out there. You know what I mean? We have so many programs and so many systems that we use that there's so many ways to buy a house now. You know, there's so many ways to buy a house, and I can give you some game on that, right? I'll give you some other game real quick. Give me some likes. Give me some hearts, and I'll give you some game on how to find properties. Or someone comment real game. Okay, look, I'll give you some game. I'll give you some game on how to find properties in your city. Okay. Okay. Go to Google Maps. Okay. And go to Google Business. Okay. And you're gonna set up a We Buy Houses business at your location. So basically, you're gonna post. You're gonna make a business on Google Maps. We Buy Houses. Okay, and it's gonna have your home address. It's gonna have your phone number, right? And what's gonna happen is when people search We Buy Houses, maybe in your area, your business is gonna come up, and they're gonna call your cell phone. So that's one way to attract uh, distressed sellers. You know, people that want to sell their house because they're gonna go to Google Maps. Uh, need to sell my house. Your business is gonna come up first. You can name it whatever you want. We buy junk houses. You know what I'm saying? House for cash. Whatever, right? So and then for the website, you can have a YouTube, Facebook page. So that way you have a phone number there, you have the YouTube page, and you want to have a picture of yourself. That way they know it's someone local. That's one way. Another way is to post on Craigslist, post on Marketplace. Okay. Make a post on your Facebook page. Hey, we buy houses. And it sounds crazy, but I'll tell you how it works. If someone calls you, I guarantee, and if you try this, and if you get a lead, I will help you navigate through that lead, like at no cost. If you say, "Hey, I got a lead, dude," what you said to do, I did it and it worked. So now you better fucking help me. I'll help you, okay? Post on your Facebook, post on Marketplace, post on Craigslist. We buy houses cash. We buy houses cash. Okay. And if you get a lead, I guarantee you'll figure out how to buy it. And I'll show you some strategies that'll blow your mind away on how to buy houses and like 0 to no money. I'll show you how to make money just on the deal. Okay. That's one thing that I can share y'all as well. So man, I hope I gave y'all some game. Simon, thank you for staying on. So next week we'll be here every Monday at 7. If on the link tree, I also have the Zoom link. It's a free Zoom link. You sign up, that way you get the notification that we're going live, and so you can hear that. So I would suggest if you're on TikTok, go to the link tree and go to the Zoom and just sign into go to the Zoom thing, go to the link tree, go to the Zoom sign up. That way you get the notification on Monday that we're going live. That way you can tune in live. That way you can go on live on TikTok, or you can go on live on the Zoom, whichever. Or also we're also on YouTube. We got 5 people on YouTube. Let me know let me see if there's questions there. Oh shit, Daniel's on our YouTube. Hey guys, I'll answer y'all's questions on the YouTube. I gotta go pick up my son. But I'll talk to y'all guys next week. Later, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.